What's up, everybody? It's Kicking It with Kay. So glad you could join me. And today I thought I would talk to you about a condition I have called sensory integration. And not a lot of people know what that is. It's also known as SI because sensory integration is a very long word. But pretty much sensory integration, and I'll put it up here, and I just talked about it. I just looked up I looked up the definition. And it provides a critical foundation for later, more complex learning and behaviors. So the first thing my parents noticed when I was a baby, you put a baby in a bath and you have to give them baths, right? Everyone has to have a shower. And I would scream. Well, of course a baby's going to be upset sometimes about getting a bath, but I would bloody scream. And that was because my brain was telling my body the water was hurting my skin. And so we went to my parents took me to a whole bunch of doctors. I remember going to so many doctor's appointments as a child, trying to figure out what was going on with me. Definitely one visit, I remember it was when I was older, when I was a little more older, but I had to spend spring break, and it was my aunt, my mom, and me. And we went to a bigger hospital, and they put suction cups all through my head, and they watched how my brain waves would work on certain things that I would do with textures and stuff. And that was where I was actually in a hospital with a bunch of other kids that had sensory integration. I remember this little girl, and I don't know why I remember her, but she was allergic to the sun, and so they actually had made her something so she could go out during the daytime with the sun. It was like this umbrella deal. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen, but it was cool because she could still go out to the sun. But years later, when they found out what was wrong with me, and that I wasn't being stubborn and not doing things, it was literally because some textures were literally just hurting me. My parents, they were so relieved that they knew what was wrong. And when doctors said I have sensory integration and handed over a list of things I couldn't do, the doctors just didn't think I could be able to do in my lifetime. My mom looks at the list, and my mom looks at my dad, and she says no. And the doctors looked at her and was like, "What do you mean no?" And he's like, "No, she'll be able to do some of this stuff. She has to be a normal human being. Like, she has to learn on her own. She has to do all this stuff." So my mom and my dad put me in every swim class. I learned how to feel certain things and textures, and I got to work with different therapists. We went to a psychic doctor, and they hypnotized me, trying to get my mind to think a different way so my body wouldn't feel like it's being hurt. And I've been to so many different doctors trying to help me with what I had. And most of it, I'm very proud to say that I have got over it. That I've gotten over most of what was on that list. But one thing that has definitely been hard, and still having to deal with till the age I am at now, which is 26, is that I am allergic, or not allergic. Foods hurt my body, I guess. So the way I explain sensory integration to people, because sensory integration, a lot of people just don't know, I feel 10 times more than what you feel. So one of the major things that affects my body is whipped cream. And you're going to know. You're going to be like, "Oh, that's so sad. How can you not have whipped cream?" I just can't. So I put whipped cream on my hand. We'll say my hands and my mouth are the most sensitive part, but if I get it over in my body, it still hurts. But my hand is definitely one of my sensitive ones, and if I put whipped cream on my hand, it'll turn red, and then my mind tells my body that it's hurting. Pretty much. I don't know how else to explain that to you. But it'll start burning my skin, and I'll have to get it off. And no, I don't have an EpiPen. It does not work. No, they don't have any medication or anything like that. It's something I have to deal with. So I went through a lot of different ways of trying to figure out what I can eat, what I should eat. And everyone's like, well, you can usually stay with like healthy fruits, right? You could have like fruits and vegetables, and you could have stuff like that, right? Well, even textures like that on some fruits and vegetables and stuff like that still bother my skin. Just the texture of it, it physically hurts to feel it. I'm just going to list off some things I just can't eat, which, like I just said, whipped cream is one of them. Any type of Mexican food. Let me tell you how amazing it smells. I mean, I think in my past life, I was definitely someone that really liked Mexican food because it smells amazing. Chinese food. Oh my goodness, there's so much stuff. There's a bunch. I wish I just had a list of like, here's my list of everything I can't eat, but that's just like some of the things. My diet, I feel like that would be a lot easier to put a list of like what I eat. I eat pork, steak, ribs, chicken. I eat a lot of chicken. I get tired of chicken. Hamburgers, hot dogs, fries, corn, green beans, fried okra, rolls, bread, anything like that. My diet's very limited to some meats, some sides, and I can mostly have a lot, like drinks are okay that I've noticed. One of the big things I have to watch out for is what they call MSG, which is in like everything, but it's also called monosodium glutamate. Woo! Let me say that 5 times. But that's definitely one that's big where I can't have it, and that's in like everything. That's one thing that messes with my body, and when it's in my mouth, I can definitely tell because it just burns. Like my whole mouth burns, and then my body starts aching, and I feel horrible. But I want to tell you this, and this is the reason I tell you I have sensory integration, is because I feel like it definitely needs to be out there that because you have this thing in your body, or just because the doctor says, well, you're not going to be able to ride a bike, or you're not going to be able to swim, or you're not going to be able to learn like your classmates because you're not going to be able to understand the textures of things. You're not gonna be able to learn. You're not gonna be able to do things because just textures. You don't have to listen to what everyone says. You have to listen to you. Because if I'd have listened to those doctors, and my parents would have listened to those doctors, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Right? And so, because I feel like disability has a bad name. As soon as you say, well, I have this blank disability, you're like, you just kind of get looked down upon. And that's something I don't want anymore. I don't want a disability to look at it as bad. You can make your life the way you want it, not the way that everyone else views it. Like I said, if I listened to them, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be with the guy I'm with now, in a relationship with 3 kids. I wouldn't have been able to go to college. I wouldn't have been able to live my life outside of my parents' house. I wouldn't be able to just live a normal, healthy life. I'd have just lived at home the rest of my life. My parents would have had to take care of me. And I'm glad my parents helped make that decision for me, because that's what I wanted. For all my life, I've always wanted to live my own life. And my parents fought for me for that. And for that, I will forever appreciate. But I feel like here lately, disability just has a bad taste in its mouth, and it's not, just because you have a disability does not mean you can't do anything. You can still do things. Shoot, I have a reading and writing impediment too. As you can tell, I'm blind. I've got glasses. I mean, that does not mean that you're not capable of doing whatever you set your mind to. Because if I listened to all those people, I listened to all those doctors and teachers and all these things, I wouldn't be here like I am today. And thank God I am, because I am so happy and blessed with the life I have. But if you have sensory integration out there, please comment below. Please like this video. Please send me a DM on Instagram. It's KKK13. I love to know what the doctor said to you and when you found out, and what you have to do to live your life. I mean, right now, I just have to avoid foods. Like, I gotta avoid foods. I know what foods I just can't eat, and I just gotta avoid them. Guys, don't let anyone ever tell you what you can't do, because you can do anything that you want to do. Disability doesn't hold you back. You hold yourself back. Hopefully you'll enjoy this video. Please give it a like down below, comment, and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you back on Tuesday. Thanks.